There's Paul.
What up?
Yo. Still live, still waiting on the other two.
We're
Did you,
live?
Oh, yeah, we're still live.
Then never mind. I'm not going to say the thing I was going to say.
That's kind of why I opened up with that, just in case.
I appreciate it.
I'm not curious. Did you have a question prepared of your own this week?
Do I have a question prepared this week?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I don't.
Fair enough. I mean, you've been supplying us all the other questions so far, so I think you may get a pass on that.
I'm sure I can come up with something if need be.
Oh, it's probably no pressure.
Nancy.
Live with
Nigel.
Oh, and now live with Dennis. And we're live and we're back.
We're back.
We
What's
are.
going on, Kiefer?
Greetings, Kiefer. Glad you could join us tonight.
Indeed.
I couldn't see your glass down below the edge of the camera, so I'm like, what are you doing there, Dennis?
Pouring it on the floor.
That's not the floor, my friend.
Do I want to know? No.
Probably not. No.
No.
It's safer not knowing.
I don't.
Oh, dear. All
Indeed.
right.
Yeah. Not too much is up, Kiefer, and yes, you are live.
And apparently you look like a ghost, Nigel.
Or I've seen a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I would believe either at this point. Are you
In
live?
general.
Is this real? Jesus, I really hope so.
I'll just say like this all episode. I'm
Please.
just freaked out because I saw something scary.
Please don't, because then I have to like cover your part of the screen, so I don't have to see that.
It's just the girl climbing out of the well, you know?
Oh boy. On that happy note,
Kiefer's asking for a gratuitous knife shot.
gratuitous, huh?
Yep.
Yes. Oh, I'll show you gratuitous. How about the carbon fiber M390 brass barrel spacers?
Yep.
There you go.
That was awesome, by the way. That kind of made me happy. Oh, look at him loaded 2020 SHOT Show knife.
Yeah, we can talk about that for a quick moment. You alluded to it at the beginning of our last call.
That we did.
What, one of these you're talking about?
One of them?
Yep. Yep.
Hey, look,
So both me and Dennis have a habit of collecting the SHOT Show knives that have come out every year, and this year for 2020 was a bronzed out Mini Presidio.
You'll notice that one of those pocket clips is on the right-hand side of the knife, and the other one is not so much.
Yeah. I have recently just made the decision in my mind that I am going to forego the safe queen aspect of my SHOT Show knives, and I'm going to start carrying them.
I can't tell you how happy that makes me. Like,
Me too, quite honestly.
I like
be in the same boat.
anytime a customer comes into the shop and they whip something super cool and like limited or fancy out. It's like, oh yeah. Like, I've seen people show off their collections and their saves with that knife being the star of the show. Like, it's just cool seeing that kind of thing out and about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
So what made you finally decide to pull the trigger on carrying your SHOT Show stuff?
It was honestly talking with the guy in the patch community.
Really?
All right.
And just talking about how ridiculous the prices for patches can get, and he's like, yeah, no, he was showing off this really cool guy lounging out with the top hat on and a glass of whiskey while the city in the background is burning. And I was commenting about how much I wanted that patch, and it was apparently very limited edition from a few years ago. People sell it for like upwards of $50 American online, and
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh.
This is the exact
Sure,
reason why I haven't bought any patches.
I'm sure that's not top of the food chain either. I'm sure there's matches that probably go for much more than that if you dive into that world, right? But
I seem to remember.
This gentleman had actually got it gifted and was talking to me about how it was just such a monumental, cool keepsake to him. And it's like, yeah, I don't care about the value of it. It's just, I enjoy it for its uniqueness.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really struck the chord is I want to enjoy them for their uniqueness.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. We both have some things like the sequel that came out in play. You did throw out the fact a couple weeks ago, and I was wondering if it was just like this glory pocket dump or what was going on there.
Yeah. At that point, it was more of like just the glory state. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I did notice that they were coming out to play, and that's Silver Twill, Red Barrel Spacer Fact. Yeah, that is tempting to definitely carry for sure.
Yep.
Is it physically possible to kick your own ass?
Yeah.
Because I want to over one of those knives.
Watch Liar Liar with Jim Carrey. Pretty sure emulating that bathroom scene would get the job done for sure.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
But the big one in the SHOT Show collection for me, I don't even know. They're all pouched up. I'm not going to dig it out. Is the carbon fiber with blue barrel spacers mini onslaught that I have.
Yeah.
And that one wasn't actually a SHOT Show. They have done mini onslaughts with SHOT Shows that I do also own, but the carbon fiber one in particular is definitely one that I've thought about, like going to a wedding, wanted something fancy and saw it. I was like, do I carry that today? Like,
is today the day? Yeah.
Yeah. Or my cool steel Tal War, the custom series Tal War is the other one.
Yeah.
That thing is freaking gorgeous though. Every time you bring that knife out for show and tell. Ugh.
But yeah, as Paul just mentioned there, the sequel that I was showing off the other week as well is, this one is so nice.
That's probably
sequel.
That's probably my favorite iteration of the sequel, to be honest. Of all the variants that I've seen over the last couple of years, that's definitely cream of the crop.
I don't know. They did that purple one with the carbon fiber inlay. It was like a purple anodized titanium where it kind of went purple to blue, and it had a carbon fiber inlay with that. I think it was still S30. I don't think it was anything fancier than that, but still, that one was sexy as hell too. The sequel is just a beautiful platform.
And I mean, purple and carbon fiber, normally I'm a sucker for that, but for whatever reason, the sunburst pattern on Nigel's, you have that one too, Dennis, don't you?
I certainly do. Yeah. I wonder how many employees from Blade HQ, because of Ben, actually own that knife as well. Because you even hear Zach and all the guys on the Blade HQ YouTube videos, they still talk about how nice. And you see every once in a while, one will come out of a pocket that they're like, yeah, we scored them while we could type of thing, right? So we weren't the only employees that exploited that perk for sure.
Yeah.
So,
And just on the note of us being able to exploit a perk of being employees of a knife store. Kiefer is mentioning that he's never been to the SHOT Show, and sadly, neither of any of us.
None of us yet.
We take advantage of being able to get the SHOT Show knives in through the cutting edge.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And any retailer does get them. Like, I get obviously cutting edge and plug-in, they'll have them every single year type of thing. And every retailer shop has a chance to get them, but they come out in January and they're gone in January.
Yeah.
So, basically, if you're a retailer and you purchase anything at SHOT Show, you have an opportunity to buy these as a limited edition thing that you can sell in your store, right? So, anyone from us to any of the major retail chains, there is always a chance at the SHOT Shows, but they come and go super quick, especially when employees buy them.
Yeah, and despite me and Dennis scalping them as quickly as we can, the cutting edge does do a good job of trying to get a couple extra, so there are more out there for customers, not just the employees.
Tell them that That could be mine this year, or next year. You never know.
I'm just trying to pump up the cutting edge some here, man. Give them
No,
a
I
boost.
know.
Yeah.
You know that there was a silver 12 fact floating after Calgary had already sold theirs out for several months in one of the other stores before it actually went away.
There's a reason why it's a knife that I missed out on, and I am upset about it. Is because I had plenty of opportunity and I didn't pull the trigger, and I kept thinking about it.
I'm just saying, employees want them, customers want them. Chances are you'll still fight over it, but if you're quick, there should be enough for both. If you're quick, I'm just saying.
I was going to say what I'm hearing is I should just make my bloody mind up.
Yeah,
Pick one or not.
Maybe.
As soon as you hear about it. And that's the other thing with the SHOT Show knives is you don't get a lot of preamble before what it is. And that's why I personally decided a long time ago that I didn't matter. It's a SHOT Show knife, and I decided I was collecting SHOT Show knives. So there's some that are more disappointing than others. And I'm like, I could care less whether I actually personally own that knife or not, but it went in because it was a SHOT Show knife.
The only caveat that I have on that, aside from what Dennis has, is it has to be numbered. If it's not a numbered one, I'm not interested. It still has to have the numbers for me.
Individually numbered on the blades.
Even at this point, if you're going to carry them?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, because even if it ever does get to the point that it's abused enough, I still have the boxes so I know what numbers they are and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
We got more questions.
We certainly do. Crazy. It's going to sound insane. This one's in from Ahsoka Edge.
Shocking.
Do any of you guys have a favorite knife company?
For the most part, I'll usually lean towards Benchmade, and a big part of that is the left-handed ease of access with the access lock.
That's a fair answer.
I suppose. I mean, I started off as a Spyderco fanboy. I mean, they're kind of what got me into higher end knives to begin with. So there's a big nostalgia factor there. I don't know if I could pick a favorite though. I mean, there's so many knives that even like Cold Steel. Cold Steel is coming out with excellent blade steels now. They're coming out with great designs that I can actually EDC in a reasonable way, even if they discontinue them and make me super upset about it.
You've held that in this whole time.
No, it just came back to the surface. Yeah, I mean, if you were going to put a gun to my head, Spyderco, but I mean, so many companies are doing such a good job these days that, yeah. Says the guy wearing a Spyderco shirt, but, you know.
I think me and Dennis were wearing one last week.
We were, as I was, calling out other companies as Spyderco. It's fine. I meant to say Cold Steel, I said Spyderco, yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
I'm actually with Nigel on this one. It is Benchmade, and it's funny enough because my first two Benchmade knives were not access lock knives. The first one was actually a red class. It was called a Pika, which is basically an Endura knockoff from Benchmade's red class, and I bought one of those just as an introduction. It's discontinued. They want to sue them from something from a long time ago. They would have done it now.
Yeah, I suppose.
And then the next one was the mini skirmish that I showed you there. And that's what turned me on to Benchmade is there was something about just I needed something cheap and utilitarian with the red class, and then I was ready to step up into the real world with the mini access lock in the real knife world, and I dove in with that one. There's still people to this day that are just like offers are a little bit ridiculous sometimes when it comes to a mini skirmish platform, right? But I don't know. I've got a little bit of everything. People slag on Cold Steel
a little bit.
But for what Cold Steel does for their fixed blades, for their toughness of their durability, for their accuracy and heat treatment that we were dabbling on in the first chat that we had tonight.
Yeah.
Tried and true over and over again.
Oh, you lost Dennis.
Kapla.
Exactly what everyone else was. I think I just froze it.
Yeah, you did. And your visual is still frozen, but we can hear you.
Anyone?
Oh, there you are. Now you're back. If you want to repeat that. Oh, maybe not.
Nope. Dennis is having issues.
I'm not back.
So last thing,
which is hilarious because Dennis has been no problem for the last 3 weeks running, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
I'm gonna take a second stab at that. It's robot vipers. I prefer that.
It is. Yeah.
This time around, yeah.
I was watching that Joe Rogan, Elon Musk podcast with the brain link thing on the back, so it sounded kind of appealing. I'm just saying. It's
creepy.
That's fair.
yeah,
You already answered, Joe. I guess that leaves me. Unpopular opinion, I guess. I don't know if it's unpopular, but I think ZT. I think there's more ZT models that I have enjoyed the looks of than any other knife company. But if you look at my collection, I have more Benchmates than anything else. So
I think for the ratio of knives that they put out compared to the knives that they've offered that I'd like, I'd say ZT as well.
okay.
So less
Just
offerings overall, but more consistently appealing offerings.
Yeah.
It's a. I prefer, like, if you gave me 10 ZTs, I'd probably like 8 or 9 of them out of the bunch.
Yeah.
which it's funny because I would probably like the other 1 or 2 that you don't.
We like a lot of the same stuff, except for the
It's
weird
been more and more
Except for
lately,
those 1
but
or 2.
I don't know. Yeah, with ZT, I don't know. We've got this cookie cutter where it's like awesome. You've got 560s and 562s and 566s and like, and then even the 460 and the 470 and the 450 platforms. Like it's there's some repeat action going on those ones where the original model didn't do it for me. So, but yeah, the originality of the GTC. But then you might as well just buy a GTC at that point.
How much is it?
Yeah,
GTC go for?
I understand.
Yeah.
For sure. The other thing I think I should add to that comment there, and I think we can all agree is an honorable mention, and it's probably all of our honorable mentions, is Bark River.
Yeah.
Oh, by far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fixed blades, Bark River for sure.
As far as
And I
like the
think
fixed blades.
every single one of us owns a Bark River and can attest to the fact that regardless of the controversy, go out in the bush and use one and tell me it doesn't just stand up to whatever you want to throw it at. Like, yeah. And I have. So.
Me too.
That's fair. Is there, Will to Survive here has a question.
Sure.
Is there one knife, and it is not knife company, but knife, is there one knife that you absolutely hate?
Like, I'm going to assume out on the market today, even if we don't personally own it.
Sure.
Because I'm going to assume
I wouldn't know it if I hated it that much.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's some knives that I bought and later thought, like, wow, this is shit. But as far as knives that, like, I absolutely hate that are on the market right now, aside from, like, your generic answer of, like, MTEX.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something that I absolutely hate. I got to think about
He
that.
spent that much time in his Zoom chat to have an I don't know answer?
Yeah. It's usually not hard for me to dislike stuff, so I thought I would have something, but that just caught me off guard.
Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down to a specific knife. Like for me, it's I keep thinking of like either companies or like generic styles, like the trend of the zombie knives of like the post-apocalyptic crazy machetes and stuff, or the MTech stuff. Yeah, it's hard to narrow it down to one.
What about you there, Dennis?
Well, I mean, like they were saying, the generics, right? And the companies, like, regardless of what you think of Marfeone and how sexy his designs are, there's some questionable activities going on in the backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
So how does it feel to know that you're going to get sued in the next few minutes?
Oh, probably. This is going live on YouTube, so you might as well take me for the $3 that it works. Like, it's, yeah.
I'll cut your section out when I edit it up.
He'll take my SHOT Show collection and then make Microtext look just like them, right?
Just like staticky TV.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say.
Oh, he's gone again.
He was going to say something, all right.
Marfion's here.
It's okay. I'm blocking out at this point, so it's good.
So what were you going to say? You got completely cut off there.
What I was going to say is my actually hated knife, and I was basically threw it away, gave it to the first person that wanted it, and people like it out there. The YouTube community is great budget knife, blah blah blah. The K-Bar Dozer. An Oz-8 steel with the lockback, and that thing just, as soon as I tried to use it in performance, it didn't fit good in my hand. I was just not impressed with the heat treatment on Oz-8, which is not hot in the first place type of thing. I was like, Jesus, for $25 or $30, save $10 more and buy a rook knife that actually feels good in your hand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. The K-Bar Dozer is one of those. Every time I see it and people respond good, yeah.
I am very meh about that knife. I feel you on that. I think the one that bothers me the most, the one that I would like to see just off Walmart shelves forever, or Bass Pro Shop shelves, or Canadian Tire shelves, screw them all, is the Bear Grylls Gerber folding bushcrafting hunk of junk.
And it's the sad thing is, for a lot of what Gerber offers nowadays, aside from his name on it, it's not actually a bad knife.
I will take the folding Bear Grylls Survival-y knife over a Gerber Paraframe or the remix with the hole in the middle of it any day of the week.
What about the second gen flat iron?
Wasn't that the M390 version?
It was they did a what's it called?
20
CQI. They re-released it with a better action and stuff like that because the first one was
because the flat iron's not the worst design out there either.
No,
I like that. That's one that if I was to pick up a Gerber, that would probably be the one that I picked up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think.
But now we're just slagging on Gerber, so.
I think that particular one, the one with the rubberized handle, that Bear Grylls folder, I think it's disappointing because the handle actually doesn't feel half bad in hand. I mean, for your kid's first knife or something, it's not a bad choice overall. But the standard complaints of the blade steel's way too soft and the whole thing feels a little slapped together.
Isn't there more than one variation of the Gerber Bear Grylls anyways? Isn't there?
Yeah, there was a small and then a large and then a fixed blade, right?
The fixed blade has a pro version that actually does have 9CR18 in the steel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not talking about those ones. I'm talking about the one that they sell at Walmart as cheap as they possibly can. The folding.
Yeah. The folding one. I think there's two versions of the folding one, but neither one of them are to write home about.
Yeah.
I mean,
But the one that was so soft in the blade steel that it took Dutch Bushcraft 2 videos to break it.
Well, both of them, that's the best part, is they both had the same feel in the folding ones. They were both 7CR17.
Yeah.
Or 7CR13. I want to say 7CR17 for some reason, but I could be wrong.
Can't remember. Yeah.
Either way, it's a chromoly variation of some form, which is still better than the 420J that's in Paraframe, right? There's 420HC in some of the fixed blades, like the Strong Arm and the Prodigy and the LMF, that are not bad. They're still American made and they're not the worst thing in the world, right? But
now 420 high carbon is a fine steel for a beater knife or for just a knife that you need to be able to sharpen quickly. It's fine, but
especially if you get the Paul Boss heat treat, like Buck. That's what I was saying before. As far as if I'm going to get.
Sorry, you make a slightly better steel or a slightly mediocre steel slightly better with Paul Boss, right? It's whatever. So
we were talking about the do you buy the heat treat or do you buy the steel a while ago? And as far as that goes, at least they're bringing it to the absolute pinnacle of what it could be. You know what I mean?
On that note, I'm done talking about Gerber. What's our next question?
got one from Will to Survive on YouTube.
We certainly do. What's your favorite non-knife EDC item? Yeah.
I gotta say
Can it
flashlight.
be my second knife?
Oh, I might
Or
have.
my third?
Does
Second knife doesn't count. No.
What about fourth?
so I'm not gonna count my phone here, although that's an easy answer is my phone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get it. I'll be right back.
Fair enough. He's running
Okay,
away.
well, Joe does that. It's a flashlight of some sort, and I've got the little Claris, the one I've been playing with that they just came out with this later, the little keychain one. I vary. There's a mass drop brass one that is probably my favorite flashlight to carry as an EDC. But even when it's daytime, if you're inside a building and you have to see something and it's absolutely dark or a dark corner or whatever, it's just super handy to have without reaching for your phone every single time, right? So
Talking about flashlights.
what?
Talking about flashlights.
Of course we are. That's probably going to be most of our answers.
Yep.
And that's why you have a stupid smile on your face.
A little bit. My pen. If I can't have a full-size flashlight, and I've never had that. I've usually carry a full-size flashlight in addition to this, but it's got 2 brightness modes. It has a pen that writes, as well as a scribe tip / glass breaker. I use this and this and this all the time, whether I'm working on stuff at home in the garage or if I'm out. It sees use literally almost every day. I freaking love this thing.
Thank God it has a pen that writes. If it was a pen that didn't write.
Well, yeah. I'd just be scratching. I'd be carving into shit with it. Yeah, people would hate me.
Quite honestly, I'm going to call Joe out on the fact that he picked one item that's still 3 items.
Yeah. That's how indecisive I am.
Thumbs up, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. If I had to isolate one of those things, it would probably be the flashlight, to be honest. But
Yeah.
that single item is so useful that how can I not?
Who makes that pen again, Joe?
That's Claris.
It's Claris. We're pushing Claris on these ones.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was a question on YouTube, so.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I see. So it's not just us pushing it.
So,
No.
for those interested, the name for this guy is the TP20 Ti. Yeah, it's titanium, if that matters to you. It's lightweight. It's nice, but yeah.
What about you there, Nigel?
I generally like having like a pen and a little notepad on me because it's always nice to be able to take notes, jot something down if need be.
That's a good answer. I'm going to go a little bit outside of the box on this one from the traditional EDC items, and it's actually my Bluetooth headphones.
Yep.
Nice.
If I leave the house, these are with me everywhere. And having Bluetooth headphones are fantastic. Screw cords.
I just recently upgraded my phone and got a free pair of Bluetooth headphones with it. So, and I thought of you immediately when I got them. I'm like, oh shit, they're kind of like Paul's. Oh, they're not as nice as Paul's, but whatever, they're still cool.
I like them so much. I have 2 sets.
Why?
That's funny.
I gotta know why.
Because of
Because
one pair
the color-
dies, it takes a while to
Because
recharge it.
he has to color coordinate with his outfit.
Thanks.
Obviously, didn't you see the colors there? Like,
Thanks. No, but
Look,
seriously, why?
These were free.
Oh,
Is that a good answer?
yes,
That'll do it.
That's a perfectly fine answer.
That's fair. Just a quick shout out to Big Board Knife and Gear. Late to the game, but he's here now. So what's going on?
Greetings.
Next question.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's going to sound crazy. This one's also from Ahsoka Edge.
Gas.
Yeah, right?
I don't believe you.
I'm going to be honest. I really appreciate the fact that we're getting so much engagement from Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Is he here tonight, by the way?
He was. I don't know if he's still here, but he definitely was at one point.
All right.
If you guys ever decided to get a custom knife, what would it be and why? I think we answered something similar to this.
I was just gonna
We
say,
did, we did.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we could answer it again.
Most definitely.
Legality be damned. G&G. Not Deadbolt. Deadlock. The Grant and Gavin Hawk double action out the front. That would be my top choice. Just for the machining. Yep.
That's fair. What about you there, Nigel?
Either like high-end Master Smith, super nice Bowie, gonna call out Jerry Fisk again.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that, or else
I was looking at some David Lynch Bowies here the other day, and it made us think of the conversation from last week as well. But anyway.
Yeah, or else get into like something crazy weird, like getting into the art knife realm, like a Wolfgang Lurch sort of design or something.
Yep.
Did you see the dagger he posted today?
Yeah.
With the rose gold.
I don't think I did.
It may or may not have been a folder because the lockback was so beautifully hidden. I'm like, I can't tell if that's a fixed blade or if that's a.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, sexy as
You
hell.
better send me a link after we're done here because I want to see it.
Wolfgang Lurchner, he's on Instagram, and I'm sure me and Nigel both saw them, right? But yeah,
Mhm.
I'm going to go last. So, Paul, what's yours?
It's pretty. I think I've made it pretty clear over the time here that a Norseman from Grimsmo is the Grail for me. As crazy, weird looking as that thing is, I want a guillotine that will take my fingers off at any opportunity.
But isn't that kind of
fair.
the point of getting a custom knife? Just something that you can grievously injure yourself with at a given moment.
Yes. Hopefully. I mean, what else is it going to cut? It's not going to.
So it's all, yeah.
Yeah.
Back
I'm just going to
talking
cut
about
myself
safe
with
cleans.
it. But we can
Right.
talk about that later.
Oh my.
And for me, I did dabble on it, I'm pretty sure, last week as well. But it's the Garrett Bull Shamwari. And the larger Shamwari, the 3.5 inch rather than the 3-inch, something like with a Hawaiian koa wood. Like they make some sexy ones for sure.
Koa's so pretty.
And
He's gone.
I think
He's
I
back.
got some freezing in.
Yep.
What was that, Paul?
No, you're
just
back.
commenting you're freezing.
Yeah. The koa wood one in particular, right? But why I wanted to actually go last was we were talking last week about the Garrett Bull Shamwari and the production version with the Wii knives that I've been looking forward to. Well, apparently they tried to release it actually within the last week or so of the production knife ones, but it was only sold on Garrett Bull's website.
Oh.
And there's so much demand that they crashed the website. And at some point, he's going to notify them when he's fixed the issues so people can buy it again. So I don't think any got even bought. And it instantly crashed the website. And he's like, whoa. Okay, we're going to revamp the website and come back when we can actually sell these properly without everyone just losing their shit on it. Right?
That's funny.
I just pictured Dennis screaming at his phone. Shit!
God damn it.
Having said that, best part is he's only put the first run production to U.S. residents only.
Oh.
And he still crashed. And they still crashed the goddamn system with U.S. residents only.
Wow. You have any relatives in the States that are gonna pick the knife up for you?
Oh, but I might know a person with a PO box on the U.S. side. So we might be playing that game. But that's if I'm not working at the time where I need to hit like enter and try to get one before it crashes the second time around. Right. So. Yeah, there's a good chance I will not get one of the first edition ones in the first place. So
that's fair. We actually have a question here directly for one of us instead of the group from Will to Survive. How many knives do you hide in your beard there, Nigel?
It's hard to say. Like it's if I get digging around and I can pick out a couple for sure because there's one there. Let's see if I can dig around a little bit further. And yeah, there's another one. We'll reach in right underneath there, and I can pull out another one. And I could probably keep going for a while, I'm sure.
Nigel's a
Well
lot
played,
of
sir.
yeah.
It's funny when my beard is more in the Nigel beard length realm. I tend to call my neck knives beard knives because the beard hides them completely.
Mhm.
Oh, quick heads up, guys. 5.5 minutes left on this.
Burp.
We're burning
Alrighty.
through quick.
Yeah, we are.
So how many more questions do we have from Ahsoka Edge here?
That's a good question. Here, let me get you an answer for that. Knife for the knife.
We do have another question on the YouTube as well.
You bet. Fire away, Joe.
So it's from Q's Gear Reviews. What was the knife that started it all for each of you?
Yep.
Mm.
So for me, it was
Hang
technically.
on a sec, Joe.
Oh,
Let me fire off first.
okay, go for it.
Just let me fire off first because I dabbled on it earlier.
Yeah,
The mini skirmish.
Yeah.
Catch bait.
sounds about right.
We talked about it earlier. That's what started it all. I fell in love with knives and high quality knives, milled titanium, and there was no looking back. All right, Joe. Say what you're going to say now.
For sure. Spyderco Delica, technically, was the first nice knife that I picked up for myself. Well, it got me interested in knives, and this was when I was in Montreal. Got back, and I was like, oh, what the Spyderco? Never heard of them. What the hell is this? So, like, are there some kind of promotional company? Like, I didn't know what they were. But the first thing that popped up when I was looking up Spyderco knives, I came up across a picture of this knife. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's weird. I want that. Took me a couple of years to buy one, but... And yeah, like this was my first Grail knife, and I think that's why I have that attraction to Spyderco too. So yeah, the Delica and the Phoenix, they're the reasons why.
That's fair.
Look at this guy once again, not giving a straight up answer about one knife and throwing two in there just to.
Yep.
You son of a bitch.
Well, how about this for a straight up answer? I don't think I have a specific one.
Oof.
Like I got into the knife realm after I became a blacksmith and was already into the metalworking aspect of it. So transferring into the knife realm, the big interest for me was the metal, really,
Yeah.
and the craftsmanship and the making and the different materials such as the silver twill or like the blue Nishishin, like really fancy, unique materials like
So-
that is what really drew me in, I think.
I will have one small argument to that, and it's only because I've known you for as long as I've known you, and I spent a lot of time with you. You by far carried the ZT456 more than any other knife I've ever seen you carry.
Where did I put that guy?
Check your beard.
So I'm just saying, from my own personal, what you carried for a very many years was tried and true 456.
Yeah, this one was definitely one of the stepping up points in the collection for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I can agree with you on the one first knife, but just, because I know you and I've seen what you carry on a day-to-day, that was a standout for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna go back a little bit farther than like what the one knife that was like, okay, now you're a nerd for knife stealing and stuff like that. When me and my brother were about 6 years old, we got given they're miniature buck 110s basically. They were about that big, open, might have had an inch long blade in them, but it was the first knife that we were given. And it was that goes in your pocket, and when you need it, you take it out and use it. And if you need it sharpened, you sharpen it yourself. And everything else has led to this point from there.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so we have 1 minute 30 seconds left on this call.
We have at least 2 more questions if we want to hop into one more quick call.
Sounds good.
We can do that.
Yep. So everyone on YouTube land, once again, hang out for a couple moments here, and we will be right back with you.
Might be more than a couple for me, but yeah.
Yeah. There's things that need to happen for sure.
For sure.
There certainly is.
We shall return.
We don't need